Good afternoon. As you all are aware, today we had a disciplinary hearing in reference to Officer Alex Zavala. Our commission heard the evidence from that investigation and decided to dismiss him as an employee. Personally, I'm grateful that our commission saw fit to accept my recommendation for termination, and I can't credit them enough for what they did. The Owensboro Police Department, at the very core of what we do, it involves public trust. So for years we've had a dedicated professional standards unit to investigate allegations against officers. And this case was no different. Once we learned of potential allegations that day, it didn't take an hour, it didn't take 30 minutes, it took less than 5 minutes because of some of the information that we discovered. I reached out to KSP to have them conduct a criminal investigation. So with that, we continued to work and conduct an administrative investigation into our officer, and of course ours is concluded at this point, and the decision was made today to terminate him. So we continue to do and provide services to our community. That's what we're here for, and the community needs to trust us. They can trust that we will do the right thing when situations occur like this, because that's what we're here for. I promise you that 99% of the officers that represent our profession are here to do the right thing, but there's a certain percentage that engage in misconduct that will not be tolerated and should not be tolerated. At least it won't be at the Owensboro Police Department. I'll open it up to any questions.
There were 2 officers who received complaints about them in December. Is there any update on the second officer who received a complaint? Not at this time.
When were you all made aware of the allegations?
On Officer Zavala, I think it was December the 8th. Or not, yes.
And the investigation started promptly after?
Well, yes, it started. We were notified on December the 9th, and that's when it began. Okay. So.
And he was suspended on January 4th, is that right?
He was placed on administrative leave at the point in which I confirmed that there was some validity to the allegations against him.
Nate Pagan sent out a statement, but it just references vague violations or misconduct or violations of policy. What violations of policy or misconduct are we talking about?
We're talking about unbecoming conduct, interacting with the public without the use of body cams and such.
Can you talk a little bit more about what the investigation looked like on your end and the city's end?
Without getting into specifics, basically, police officers have the Police Officer Bill of Rights in Kentucky. So we have to give them 48-hour notice where they can get an attorney to represent them or what have you before they can be questioned. So we have that time period, and then also when they come in, administratively it's a compelled statement. So the news media, we are about transparency, but there's some certain things that we can't discuss. If you look up Garrity versus New Jersey, that says that police administrations cannot use compelled statements to hand over for a criminal investigation. So that's why we have to be very careful not to compromise or jeopardize a criminal investigation, because our investigation is done, but we can't take the information we learned at an administrative interrogation, I guess, and give it to a criminal investigator. So that's why, at this point it's still open, because the last thing that I would want to do as a police chief is compromise an investigation, because if Officer Zavala, or no matter who it is, committed a wrongful act that was criminal, they should be punished. And I don't want to be a part of, that's the reason why they get to walk away free, is because I did something I shouldn't have done.
Can you clarify if on January 4th, Officer Zavala was placed on unpaid administrative leave or paid administrative leave?
At some point, I placed him on administrative leave, and I would actually have to go dig into the case to see what the date was. But at the point in which we just started to draft formal charges, he was suspended without pay.
And
Nick?
go ahead.
Now, you said that this involved an interaction without using a body cam. Can you comment if there was a victim in this case?
Yes. Victim, there was another person, another party involved.
A civilian or another officer?
Civilian.
Gotcha.
But there was something that happened that launched this investigation as far as the violation of policy. What was the initial complaint?
Of misconduct.
Do you
I'm not going to get into specifics about that. Again, as I explained about the guarantee protections that public employees have in general, I don't want to be the catalyst in which somebody that needs to be punished can just walk away from it. So let's just keep it to some questions and not get into specifics.
You
Okay?
see, Chief, I do want to ask this question about the
Yes.
investigation. I know you said that KSP is taking the investigation currently, and you guys
Yes.
are finished as an administrative.
Right.
But you also said there is some investigation the administration will be doing. So who will be leading the actual investigation on this case? Is that KSP or is that OPD who is doing that actual investigation? If both of you are doing investigations.
Well, the criminal aspects, KSP was working.
Gotcha.
And we do our administrative investigation. Can agencies do them simultaneously? Yes, we could have done the criminal side, but it's always been a practice of ours
Mhm.
is to call KSP and let them do that. We don't even work our own vehicle accidents because of, perception.
Right.
So,
And I do want to ask, since this did involve body cams, do you think that this will change any kind of policy or any kind of way that you guys practice as OPD when it comes to body cams? Will this make it more stronger enforcement of it or anything of that nature?
no, the policies are in place and they are good, but just like anything else, if people don't abide by the rules, then, so once we take action and, an aggressive action like that was taken today, that sets an example. It sets the tone for others. If you're supposed to wear your body cam, you don't want to be accused of something and you didn't have your camera on because it just looks bad on you as an officer.
Now, will he be appearing in front of the next grand jury?
I have no way of knowing that at this point.
Without getting into details of the incident, can you tell us when the incident occurred?
December the 8th.
That was when it was reported. Did it occur on the same day?
It occurred, I'm getting a little confused, December the 8th or 9th. I mean, we were made aware the next day, so I think it was December the 8th. We were made aware on the 9th.
And was the complainant also the victim in this case?
Again, I defer to KSP about victimology and things like that because they're doing their investigation. At this point, we didn't do the criminal side of it, which I don't need because due to KRS 15391, agencies across Kentucky are required by statute to report when a police officer is separated from employment, which would subject them to decertification as a police officer. So, go ahead.
Is there any timeline as to when the public will know more about what the city referred to as serious claims?
I think once KSP concludes this investigation, I would think that shortly after that. Is that it?
Oh, he wasn't here very long. Do you know anything about his record, about his service history? Anything prior, any violations
No.
or anything?
We hired him, his start date was 12/20/21.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I think kind of caught off guard by the conduct. But again, we doesn't matter if you work for us or not. I mean, there's a standard that we expect from all officers, and you either meet it or you move on. And we don't apologize for it. We're in a position of public trust, and that means that we've got to be held to the highest of standards. And so that's what the community can expect from us. And anytime there's issues, they are free to call and report them to professional standards. They can call the chief's office to speak to me directly, the deputy chief, the major. That's just what we do here, and we have done for a very long time. And a lot of agencies don't have that, but we have people dedicated to do just that, investigate nothing but complaints against officers.
Can you say if OPD's investigation led to the state police investigation?
Again, we were notified of some allegations, and through our chain of command, the supervisor on the street contacted his lieutenant. The lieutenant contacted the deputy chief. The deputy chief contacted me, and I said, tell him to hang on. And I got off the phone and called the post commander from KSP and said, we've got this allegation. If you could send somebody here to investigate. And that's how that happened. They responded, and they've been very responsive in situations like that if something comes up. And it's not us shirking our responsibility. It's just that, for optics and perception, it's best to contact another agency to do that. Because even though I know we'll do what needs to be done, we pride ourselves on doing the right thing for the right reasons. But still, call KSP, let them do the criminal side. We'll take care of the administrative issues. Good? All right.
Okay, thank you all for your time.